Visiting with probably the most deserving September call-up, Norfolk Tides manager Ron Johnson. So along the way this year, you became the winningest manager in Norfolk history. That's quite a feat.
You know, I was proud of it. I really was, not only for myself, but for the organization, because I think we're heading the right direction with players coming through the system, and I was able to, you know, kind of get the fruits of their labor.
You probably have the most difficult job in the entire organization because of the player movement. 57 different players went through Norfolk, 18 different starting pitchers. How do you keep that all together?
You know what, I think I'm very fortunate in a way because I've done it for a while. It's different now than when I say it would have been 15 years ago. But I have, you kind of know your job when you get into it at the beginning of spring training. That's why it's always kind of comical when we break camp and we've got a certain amount of guys, because you know there's going to be turnover as we go. But I'm fortunate down there. You know, I've got a tremendous staff. I've got Mike Griffin as a pitching coach this year. Jose Hernandez has been with me as a third base infield guy. Sean Berry was our hitting guy. I got a really good staff of people, and you know, Buck makes it easy because there's a lot of communication between our club and theirs.
Buck made a comment yesterday about the camaraderie and the enthusiasm on your club was somewhat unusual for AAA, and I can understand that. Those guys want to be here, they don't want to be there, but somehow you kept it positive and you go on to the playoffs.
The one thing I think you can control, I can't control player moves, you know, because that's the nature of the beast. In fact, you know I can't control them, you welcome them. I love to send guys up because this year was exciting. We got to create some first-time big leaguers, guys that hadn't been up here, and there's nothing better than that. And as the manager in AAA, it's kind of neat because I get to deliver the message for the whole organization when they come into my office. But you know, the one thing I think you can control is atmosphere and chemistry within your clubhouse. You know what? I kind of pride myself, and like I said, with my staff included, that you can control things, how we go about our work on a daily basis. It starts with Buck in spring training. If you watch the way this organization runs, if you're going to create a machine where players are going to come through, you got to have that continuity. So, I mean, that's one thing I do try to do, and I'm very proud of that. That guys can come, and we're going to be enthusiastic because this game is fun, but there's a way we do things as Orioles, and it kind of transforms to brings them up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You know, Buck kids a lot that there are days where he talks to you more than he talks to Angela, and I guess that's how it has to be because you always have to be right in line with what they might need.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, you know, it's definitely I have admiration for him because he makes my job a lot easier. One, the message is sent to these guys when they come down to me. They're prepared. They know what they're coming down for. They know what they have to do to improve, to go back. And Buck gives me a lot of credibility because I've sat in those meetings when he's told the players, hey, listen, I'm going to call Ron Johnson. And if he tells me yay, then you're coming back.
All right, 57 players we mentioned. Is that unusual, or was this a year where you really had more than you've ever had?
No, the first year I was in this organization, we had 75 players.
Whoa.
Who set the International League record. So that just kind of got me loose to where we are now. So 57 is a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. There's times, you know, you take a long bus trip and be on the sleeper and look up, and I'd be thinking to myself, who is that? Because they don't have their jerseys on. But it's just, you get used to it. It's part of the gig.